Mississippi is surrounded by states that give families control over their child's share of education tax dollars. Arkansas, Alabama, even Louisiana have achieved more for school choice in the past 12 months than Mississippi has managed to do in 12 years. But there's good news. Things are about to change. Here's the new Speaker of the Mississippi House of Representatives, Jason White, talking about school choice at the Neshoba County Fair recently.
We no longer have a money issue anymore in our K-12 education system. But we do have one other glaring problem in our K-12 system, and that's a consumer issue. And by consumer, I mean parents. I mean taxpayers. This next session, you will see the Mississippi House of Representatives come forward with meaningful solutions that give parents real choices and real options when it comes to their child's education. It's what Mississippi parents and children deserve, and it's what taxpayers are now demanding.
Speaker Jason White is actively pushing for school choice. Our governor, Tate Reeves, says he'll support school choice too. In the last legislative session, we even saw a shake-up of school funding so that every student in the public school system in Mississippi now receives their own individualized education budget. The money is poised to start following the student. But will state leaders really allow students to now spend their share of tax dollars at a school of their choice? We're already starting to see those in our state that deep down oppose school choice manouvering against further reform. To be clear, few Republicans in our state will actually come out and say explicitly that they're against school choice. They couldn't afford to say they oppose school choice. But make no mistake, that's what many of them actually mean. School choice is now the number one issue that unites American conservatives right across the country. Donald Trump, the Republican candidate for the presidency, is a leading supporter of school choice. From the MAGA-type conservatives right through to the more traditional Reaganite-type conservatives, all are united in support of school choice. So what will those fake conservatives in Mississippi opposed to school choice have to say about school choice when confronted with it? Firstly, they'll insist that they are supportive of school choice, before then talking about how much they've done to support charter schools or special needs school choice programs that we have here in Mississippi. But don't be fooled. Only a tiny number of students in this state benefit from charter schools or from the special needs choice program. A tiny, tiny number. In fact, some of those saying that they support school choice and citing charter schools and the special needs choice program have been only too happy to actually restrict both. The number of charter schools and the number of students on the special needs choice program have been intentionally limited. Some of those saying that they support school choice through charter schools have been more than happy to appoint people to run the Charter School Authorizer Board who like to say no to applications for new actual charter schools. The second thing we're going to hear from those who oppose school choice, but who can't bring themselves to say so openly, well, it'll be wordplay. They'll use a choice of words to imply that they support school choice, but they'll use clever caveats like the need for school capacity. Red flag. Red flag warning when you hear people talking about school capacity. If someone tells you they support parents being able to choose a school when there's capacity, what they really mean is that they will continue to support the socialist system of education where bureaucrats decide for you. The third way that anti-school choice leaders in our state try to get away with being against more parent power is quite simply to change the subject. If education reform is being discussed, they'll try to make it about, cell phones. Should cell phones be allowed in schools? Do we need a state cell phone school strategy? Or they'll try to make it about the number of school districts we have. Should we merge and amalgamate some school districts? Now, there are good arguments about all of those issues, but blah, blah, yada, yada. Don't get distracted. If families had control over their share of the education budget, family choices would determine cell phone policies in schools. Do you really believe that a statewide politician can come up with the perfect cell phone policy for your local school that works for your child in all circumstances? Of course they can't. Only a socialist would trust politicians to do all of that. If families had control over their share of the education budget, we wouldn't have to worry about the size and the shape of the education bureaucracy sprawled across our state. We wouldn't have to worry about the number of school board districts if every mum and dad had control over their child's share of tax dollars. If you support school choice, you must support allowing families to spend their child's share of tax dollars under the new school funding formula at a school of their choice. If you don't support that, you don't support school choice. Real conservatives in Mississippi support school choice.
We are willing to kick the hornet's nest if that's what needs doing.